Drones are almost this magical technology. If you're on the ground, you might have to deal with stairs and fences and rivers and rough terrain. When you get above the treetops, it's almost like a superhighway waiting for drones to do things like deliver packages and stuff. So there's lots of reasons to go into the air.
And your drones are sort of interesting in that they are tethered drones.
The customers were all telling us, we need these drones to be on site longer. Our applications are persistent, our missions are persistent. So our first product, the Park, is a tethered drone and flies routinely for hundreds of hours at a time. So instead of 30 minutes like these free-flying drones, it can just stay up. And from that vantage point, it can see an entire area, or we can look at cars on a bridge 3 miles out, or carry communications or other type of sensory systems.
So we think of any application that goes in the air, usually on a pole or on a crane or something now, you may be able to do this way.
Yeah. So it's a very flexible technology. It's a technology that people can take anywhere, deploy it. And if you're going to have something up 24/7 for years at a time, yeah, you should definitely build a pole. But if you've got a live event, if you want to monitor a facility, a port, if you're deployed with the military, a combat outpost, you might not be at that same location for a long time. So to invest in building this really massive, very heavy structure is not the right thing.
And that tether also has a data line to it, correct?
Yes, and so it's secure. You don't have to worry about hackers. You don't have to worry about being intercepted or spoofed. It's really rugged. And we've connected it to the internet. So you can get data on demand anywhere in the world.
I think some people are thinking, okay, there's some surveying and mapping, but it's not really going to affect my industry. But I think you disagree.
There are a lot of industries that are already thinking about their drone strategy, and I can't think of an industry that shouldn't be thinking about their drone strategy, whether it's military for surveillance and communications, or mining, construction, oil and gas. I used to say, well, maybe not financial, but I can tell you, people are getting information from drones and using that to place bets about the future of the stock market.
That's right. Because I think some people, and even myself included, it's still, for lack of a better term, creeps you out a little at first. You're not used to seeing them around. They're kind of over your head. You're wondering, what are they doing? Do you think about that?
I think about it because I've heard about it for many years. When we first started doing robots at iRobot, I'd ask people if they want a robot. And some people would be like, why would I have a robot in my home? Isn't that a little too science fiction? Isn't that, what's it going to be doing? And now, I think almost 20% of the new vacuums bought are robotic vacuums, like the Roomba vacuuming robot. And on drones, I think it's the same. People used to have a very strong negative feeling, but they might have seen their neighbor have one, maybe a child they've seen using it at a park. They take these great selfies, and they're kind of getting used to the technology. Just like when you first got a computer, once you have one on your desk and you see what it can do and it can't do, you're not that creeped out by it. The other aspect is, I think people have this imagination that all of a sudden a swarm of drones come and it blacks out the sun, and I don't think that's how it's realistically going to be, because if you want a lot of things delivered in a small place, a truck is a really, really efficient, effective mechanism to do that. It's when you want something quickly, like a hot meal, or you forgot something at the store, or you're working on something and you need a component really, really quickly, or places that are inaccessible. So I don't see the swarm of drones coming in and delivering every morning. I see it really adding to your convenience. And I think consumers these days, they're really about convenience. It used to be okay to wait a few days to get packages. Now maybe overnight, but it's much better to wait an hour.
These have real disruptive power in terms of labor, cost.
Right. So we've built these drones to be pilotless, right? All you have to do is set an altitude, press a button, they go up, they stay up, and then you can just control the camera. The next step is you make the camera control automatic and the processing automatic. So it's almost like the robot starts managing a facility. And then after that, I look at this as going towards robots as a service, or drones as a service. So instead of having human operators go out and use the drones to make their jobs more efficient, you just have the drones be able to operate at a facility entirely autonomously.
Do you think that's 2 years from now, 200 years from now?
Well, it depends on the application. Some of the regulations say you have to have a person there, so why would we sell a completely autonomous system?
Right. I think one thing that really frees up people to start thinking about a drone strategy is to actually stop thinking about the devices themselves. And start thinking about what you're going to put on them, the payloads, the applications.
Oh, absolutely. We built this to do surveillance and maybe relay communication, but now telecoms are looking at it to carry a whole cell phone tower. There's so many applications that people come up with once you have these in people's hands. The ecosystem for the payloads is moving very rapidly in the drone industry, and there's better ones coming online all the time, whether they're surveillance or reconnaissance or communications or chemical sensing or radiation sensing. There's so many different payloads you could put on a drone like this, and it's developed as a payload system so our users can actually do the job that they're interested in, and sometimes it's not just looking at things.